Hello YouTube, Infinite Magicraid community, Gandalf here. So today we're going to expand upon our learnings yesterday about effective res and control, and I appreciate all the support I've gotten over the past day. Quite a few people reached out to me, asked if they can share it on their videos. People reached out saying that they did some testing and validated it seems to be true. I enlisted the help of a few others, which we will highlight today. One of them is Six Time. The other one is Maz. I don't know if he knows, but I have tested on his defense quite a bit because just to test the understanding of emblem, the effect of blessings and emblems here. So here's what I'll say is from the testing, we'll go straight right to the formula. Okay. Um, Nothing so far in game seems to be actually affecting your base chance. So what are the base chance? The base chance is when you actually read a skill description. For example, here, like 80% chance to inflict hypnotize. If you do see chances in the skill up, that's what it's impacting it. So for example, Nita, it says 60% chance, but you have 3 skill up to get it to 90. So that is your base trigger chance. So this is what we call base trigger chance. Then everything else is just additive, purely additive to your effect hit and effective res stat, and they basically go offset one another. Yes, under blessing you have effective res as a whole, and then you have control res. So this is only calculated when you're hit by a control effect. Just like in our blessings, we got added a whole bunch, okay, a whole bunch of um, control specific hits as well as control specific resistance. All right, these are basically additive and subtracted when this particular crowd control effect is in use. So the formula is really easy to think about. It's purely just additive and subtractive. But what does this really mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, there is a massive diminished return and a higher effective hit requirement for you to be able to land your CC. So for example, if you're trying to build a Nazil turn 1 to freeze the entire team, you need to make sure your effective hit is 185.7 higher than their effective res to land it 100% of the time. But that's okay. Even if you have the same effective hit as their effective resistance, you're still going to be landing 35 percent of the time. If you're about 100 over, it's 70%. So yes, you are going to be increasing it. However, it's just very costly for you to hit that 100%. Okay, so you can see I've kind of made a quick chart for you to follow the reference. If you don't want to bring out the calculator, you can always refer to this. But also what this means is your effective res. If you're below their effective res, you still can hit your opponent with some chance. All right, and this is really important. So if you want to build heroes with really high effective res, then you need to make sure your effective res is higher than their effective hit by 100. And this is after accounting for, the blessings, the emblems, all of that stuff. If yours is over by theirs by 100, there's no CC that can hit you. Okay, so I have seen people, I mean, the nice thing is Panda, first of all, right? Panda gives you that res up, start of the turn, so that's 50. Santa, I think, gives 32, I believe, or is it 30? Let me quickly find, where's my Santa? Santa here will give you 15, give you another 25 here, okay? Yeah, 10 plus 15, so 25. So start 25. 25, then you got your emblems of here is 4.5 plus another 12. So effectively, you can stack um, 90 there already. And then you get a Henge. Like if you are building double effective res sets, right? Like here, I think, am I using dexterity? No, I'm not. But my Henge, for example, here is at 150. But there are people that are running well above, like close to the 200 range. So if you're starting out with that much effective res, you can block anything. And we see the super annoying, right? And I think it's still on right now, like Brave Trial, right? There are stages where here you get another 50 res. Those are super annoying to overcome. But knowing this formula, you kind of get the sense of you need to be at least within 100 of their effective res to be able to have any chance of landing the CC. So, so even though, right, you could have a Nazil, right, and you could be 80% short from effective hit and effective res perspective, you still have a 7% chance of landing it. So in content like um, Brave Trial for people who are new, and I kind of don't care about it anymore. You can see, I haven't been doing it. I just skip all the way through, beat all floor 10, and just forget about it. Um, but if you're pushing that kind of content and you're running into high effective res, you at least know there's a chance, right? As long as you're within that threshold with any of these CC hero, it just means there's a higher chance for you to hit when you have a higher base trigger chance. But nonetheless, you still can land CCs. So this is where randomness happens. You could have bad RNG, right? Like there were times where my entire team got frozen, and I'm like, how could that be, right? And then yes, they were about 60% effective hit short, but there's still a probability of that happening. So hopefully that explains things a little bit. Hopefully the table help explain and make it simple for people to understand the relationship between the two. And then I'll talk a little bit about validation and what I've done to validate some of these theory and why blessings don't impact your base chance. They're part of this formula here. So first, I want to thank Mez, who probably didn't know I was hitting his account, um, or Kawasaki, more known as Kawasaki. But I hit his account over the weekend a lot, and I mean a lot. Like I spent like at least probably 50 plus hits on him, just to try to kind of test it out. So this is what I did. I built my Wrestler. My Wrestler, I'll show my Wrestler after this one, after this attack. But um, I built my Wrestler with very high effective hit for this test. Basically, you can see after I got hit by Liddy, I still got 144 effective res. Um, if the above formula was true, okay, um, and his Lydia has 88 effective res, um, if this, I have 47 stun chance added. If it were to add to the base chance, if we look at the formula, then the base chance would be closer around here, which means I should be able to hit him 100% of the time, and he shouldn't be able to resist whatsoever, right? At a very low probability. And that wasn't happening. That wasn't happening. It wasn't until I got over, so he was at 88, right? So I basically needed, I needed, uh, I needed 100 more, right? Because it's the base chance. And I had 47.7. So I needed to get over 140 effective res. I was around 130-ish. So I was using this team, right? I was smacking him over and over again at different threshold. And trust me, when you're testing with actual heroes, um, it's way more tedious because you need to move your gear around. So hopefully I can get some appreciation love from likes and subscribes for this because you can't, it's not like trial, you can set whatever percentage you want. You actually have to move your stats and gear around. Here, let me show my wrestler here. Um, to test these kind of things. So I got an alternative set on here where I got all of the, I had to roll some additional gear just to hit those effective hit numbers. I lucked out with these stun blessings. So 19.4 and 28 mythics. So originally I thought, hey, this is gonna make my Whistler's base stun really high, right? Which means I can drastically reduce the amount of effective hit I needed. That's not true. So it's still just additive to that. So you can see now, um, I was landing at 100% of the time. Okay. Um, um, and that wasn't happening, right? Now, if this was actually true though, I should have had a much easier time um, landing CCs um, on his Henghe. So if this was true, where it goes over on the base chance. I should have no chance of hitting his Heng-E. But when I had lower effective hit, I somehow still landed stuns on his Heng-E. So here, I should have, so if we look at 50%, his Heng-E is 240, I think. So 240. So 240 minus my 140 minus 47. So I'm around 53 deficit. So I'm around here. So if we follow this table, I should have about a 25% chance. So let's just pay attention to Heng-E now. If this formula is correct, I should be able to hit Heng-E, probably stun Heng-E one of these times. Like Heng-E is resisting everything. But if we try maybe 10 times, we'll probably get 1 or 2 times, probably. That was the first try. Um, Now, ideally, you talk to people. See, there you go. We already landed on it. Now, normally, we shouldn't be able to land these hit that easily, um, because if it was on the base chance side, you might have a higher base chance, but your deficit is too big, right? You guys saw how high his Henle's effective res is at, like 233. So the chance of us landing it is way too low, right? But I'm still stunning, right? So you can see this is clearly going to the calculation over here, not on the base chance. Um, and of course, I'm not going to show it now, but what I did later as well, of course, I lowered it by about around 10 or so, where it's below that threshold. There were the occasional chance Lydia started not getting stunned. So all these things were done to validate this. Um, the other part then, I needed to find a friend who had this blessing, because a lot of us wondered if sorry, not blessing, emblem. This emblem, if it worked, a lot of people wonder, did that work like Ben Austin or is it additive? And I can tell you it's additive. So this is how I went about it. So thanks so much Sig Time for helping me out. So with Sig, I had to use a different team because it's so fast to make this work. So I had to bring in his team is way too fast. So I had to do Nazil, I had to do Ascendo, and then Lydia, because I needed all of the other CCs to boost my Ascendo so it goes fast enough. So here you can see my Ascendo only has my effective out of 91. His res on his Jack and Roll is 71. So our base attack we needed 25 more. However, I have I think 25 or I think 20 silence hit, and he has like 11 silence resistance. So if we added 10 more to our that difference here, and then minus his effective res, it's just enough to get over that 25 threshold here. So what I spent a lot of time doing is the following. I went like that, and I froze, and I just basic attacked and see if it hit the silence. And I repeated this. Now, I repeated this like more than 20 plus time. Okay, really boring stuff. But if it was really something that the way it works like Ben Austin, okay, if it worked like Ben Austin, I would have at least seen it, resist one time or something. It didn't. So we know the control effective res emblem here actually is also additive to this part of the formula as well. So hopefully that helps a bit. We're not going to watch the destruction there. So finally, let's talk about Ben Austin. And Gerda. I don't think funny enough, I don't even think I have a Gerda. So, do I have a Gerda? I thought I have a Gerda okay, we do have it. So the way Gerda work is there's a chance for her to block a debuff while she survive, right? And block debuff chance goes up. So for herself, it goes up by, it goes to 60%. And then it goes to here, it works more like Ben Austin, okay? It's not something that add to effective rats, because you could have very high effective, but it's still it just simply resist it, right? It's like here. There's a chance to cleanse whenever someone falls off of it, and so it's multiplicative. So here, what happens is whenever this is triggered, additional dice is rolled. So this also explains why things like you really don't want to use Allcaster against Ben Austin, because not only you're hitting with a Horrify, you're also hitting it with a Freeze. So there are two 28% chances for it to try to cleanse that. And when it cleanses the entire, all of the debuff, okay? It's not just, it's all the control effect. So I don't have anybody in my friend list right now with a Ben Austin setup. But one way I think you can, maybe you can test it here, because I think um, let's go like that. Okay, and the enemy lineup, we will do a Ben Austin with, we'll do some random heroes like that. Okay, and we'll edit the stats, edit attribute. Okay, we can have 100% effective hit. Actually, having 100% effective hit helps. What you're gonna see is if you actually, what's gonna happen is Ben Austin is gonna trigger that thing so often, a lot more often. And I'm gonna hit it again. Watch. Look at the ones that were frozen, right? You see, it basically does the check twice. So the first time, what happened is Horrify is always applied first, then Freeze is going to be applied. So here Nita is interesting why is it first cleansed the Horrified, then the second one it didn't get checked. So you can see the res got pulled up, but then Freeze is applied. So if you have two CCs, they're applied independently and they're applied in sequence in the order of the description. Okay, so here, look, we could do it a couple more times. I think we can even run into a situation where Nita is gonna just, yeah. So here, both time it passed the check, but you could see. So that means it was for Nita. What you just saw there was the second time the cleanse for Ben Austin took place when it was the turn applying the freeze. So hopefully that kind of help you better understand how controls work and how Ben Austin work in the game. So there we go. I think this is probably comprehensive enough. If you guys have more questions about effective hit and effect res, leave a comment below. And if you found anything that isn't true in this, again, because this is probability, like I explained in my previous video, um, yeah, leave it in the comments. Discuss. Let's all work as a community and trying to get to the bottom of this, because I know a lot of people want to know. This is super helpful in terms of figuring out what is the minimum effective hit required to get guaranteed content, to guarantee controls on your target, just so you can farm 100%, right, of the time without worrying about unreliable chances. Okay, so with that, wish all of you a great rest of your day and have a good weekend. Gandalf out.